Ну, приятельно, прямо здесь дорожили.
Okay,
И
да.
благодарницей.
Да. Hello. Fine. I just left my daughter at the kindergarten and yeah, I have some free time. Sorry? More or less, sometimes. How are you? You can tell me again. I think I understood, but you can tell me again. Okay. They what? Ah, okay. They can use it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. What do you think is the reason for starting traveling and hosting now? I mean, of course, each has its own reason, but in general, of the trend, let's say. Okay. For what? Mm. I didn't understand this part. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. Okay. So, and you want to make these interviews in order to encourage people to use couchsurfing? Mm-hmm. Okay. And where do you want to share the videos, the interviews? Okay. And you want to collaborate with the Couchsurfing website as well, or how does it work? Okay. I don't know this one. I don't know this website. Although I'm now considering. I'm not. I have to be honest. I'm not so much into Couchsurfing since I became a mother now, as I already told you. Okay, of course I can share from my experience. Now I'm starting to use Workaway, so we hope to host. I don't know if you know this one. This is also Workaway. It's called. Okay, it's a good one, I believe. I didn't use it yet. I just created a few months ago my profile as a host, and I hope to receive some people soon. Basically, it's an exchange about someone is hosting, and some other people are coming to offer their services. In our case, it's babysitting, but it can be an eco farm looking for people to help them build some houses or take care of their plants, of their vegetables. Um, it can be people hosting to get someone to teach their children English or some other language. It varies, but these are, let's say, are the most common from what I saw. And in exchange, the people that are, yeah. What's the name? Okay, so they send volunteers to work for help you in the house or in the farm, or what's the idea? Oh, okay. Oh, so it's more broad. Okay, I didn't know about this one. I will check. Maybe you can send me a link or something. Okay. Yeah, we were also doing workshops on traveling. The I'm trained as a trainer. In my workshop, yeah. Uh, I'm doing that. I managed to get him involved in it as well, sometimes when he was free, but he has a full-time job, so he took a 1 year break from his job in order to travel with me, and we were also doing some workshops afterwards, encouraging people to travel in a more free way, let's say, without many plans, allowing to have a more spontaneous trip from which I believe they can learn more. My project? What oh, you mean about these workshops with traveling? Okay, so I'm a psychologist, work as a psychotherapist. I also have an NGO, and I do project management sometimes, a lot of volunteer work, managing volunteers, and communication with partners from all over the world. Um, I'm a facilitator, a trainer, and I'm facilitating trainings from communication, conflict management, risk and well-being, traveling, basically using experiential learning and non-formal education too. So that's why you were saying, oh, a lot of fun. It looks like fun, and many times it is fun as well. It's also a more profound work, and you cannot get to some more uh, not so much fun topics. But in the end, yeah, teaching wouldn't be the word I would be using, because we tend to extract the wisdom from the group. We believe people already know many things. They just need to become aware of it. So we use a very experiential way of sharing knowledge and wisdom with people. No, you know, everybody knows. I believe. Okay, so that's mainly what I do. Mm. Mm. So why did I choose traveling? Traveling has had a big impact on my own development as a person, as as a professional, and I decided to share that with other people as well. It's it's maybe one of the best ways of learning some things, by going out, traveling, allowing yourself to meet people, other cultures, broadening your mindset. Yeah, I experienced that myself, so I thought, why not sharing it with other in an experiential way? Sometimes it was sort of treasure hunt. Sometimes it was designing their trip as what they would like to encounter, and figure out how to plan it in a spontaneous ways. Of course, I was not encouraging people go out and you'll see. It can be a way. I met people that that also were doing that. like traveling with zero budget and stuff like that. It was not that what I was encouraging them to do, but um, planning it in a spontaneous way, as I was saying. Mm? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I met someone doing that as well. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. It is. It's not for everybody. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I believe you need to find each needs to find what is the kind of traveling that suits him or her best. Many. Most countries in Europe, all the countries in South America, Southeast Asia, and some countries in Central Africa. Both, both. I was traveling alone, I was traveling with friends or with my husband, both. Of course, it's a different experience to travel alone or to travel with someone. I would say it's maybe a bit easier to travel with someone because you have someone to rely on in difficult times. And it's more challenging to travel alone, though the kind of satisfaction you get is different. When I traveled alone, I was feeling very good because I could see how I managed to do things alone. So it's a sort of validation. Um, Feeds the self-confidence, let's say, and the trust that you can manage in extreme situations sometimes. As I was also hitchhiking alone sometimes. And with someone, it's fun. It's also good to have someone to share with all the moments. And I would say, and as I was saying, it's more comforting. You know, you can rely on someone in difficult moments. It depends. I enjoyed both, and I'm happy that I did both types of traveling. I was traveling very low cost. Oh, in Europe, oh, it's different. In Europe, I would say Blue Air, Wizz Air, Ryanair, even though are not so cheap anymore, but still it's better than some. I mean the lines. I don't remember now the name of it, but this would be the low cost lines. In Southeast Asia, I remember it was Air Malaysia or something like that. Um, no, I don't remember anymore in other continents. In Brazil, it was TAP something, or no, maybe that's TAP Portugal. I don't remember for the other ones. Okay. hmm I was using I was using Momondo. I got the question. It's fine. Momondo or Skyscanner. I think these were the ones that I was using the most. And then when I was traveling with to some other continents, I was asking the locals and finding out from them what would be the best websites to use. And I was making my own trip, sometimes waiting in the airport for I don't know 24 hours for the connection, so I could get the most locals that I could. Yeah, that's popular. I don't use much of this, to be honest. Usually I was going with couchsurfing, and now I go for Airbnb mostly. But sometimes, yeah, booking.com. I'm sure there are others as well, but these are the ones that I know. No, as I was saying, I want to host someone with work away. And since my daughter, she's almost 2 years now, she's quite small, so I didn't register for Airbnb. No. For couchsurfing, I'm still open. I can still host people on couchsurfing. But when I do that, I have some house rules that are written there, and I select very well the people that I host. The same when I travel, I select very well the people that I serve because it's important for me to not to lose my time and to find a good company from whom I can learn the most. I believe we can learn from any interaction from anybody, but I would prefer selecting the ones that are more appropriate to me. For example, I don't host people that want to come to Bucharest to go clubbing and partying. It's nothing wrong with that. It's not and it wasn't before either. It's not in my type of activities. I couldn't help them with that, and I wouldn't like people arriving drunk home at 5 in the morning. So it's are things that before I was the same. Before I was doing the same because it's not my type of activities. But there are people that also use couchsurfing for having fun, meeting people with whom to have fun in their cities. It's for me it was more about the intercultural exchange. Hmm. It depends. It really depends. Yeah, definitely. That's why I was hosting them. I was cooking at least a meal to them, so we would share something Romanian, and I was doing that when I was traveling as well. When I was surfing to some people, I was also sharing something from my country, a local drink, a local food, something. Um, yes, when I was hosting, I was sometimes showing them around, going for a walk with them, or at least providing them maps and telling them what are the things that I enjoy most in my city. It depends also on the connection with the people. Uh, if with this also it depends what do you want to see. If you want to see really everything, I mean the most important things, um, yeah, maybe it can take 1 month. It also depends how much your timing, how much time do you want to spend in each point. Are you more for exploring the places or people there? It really depends. I would say, okay, if someone approaches me, I want to do this and this and that, I would ask some questions and maybe I would say after, okay, I would say that 10 days it's enough for you. You can see everything. Or a month or two. It depends. Some people come for woofing as well, like go to some organic farms and help their around. So this would take, of course, more time. It depends. Ah, sorry, I'm back. No, here is not good as no, I just need to move a bit around. It's not pleasant. Can I? Oh, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, I can stay here. Okay. If I'm not bothering you.
No, no, not at
Okay,
all.
thank you. Okay, I moved. It's better now. Yeah, it was sunlight. Yes, I was that the sun was burning my neck. Yeah, you can use Uber as well. It's cheaper. You can cheaper than the taxi, but otherwise you have the metro, you have the bus from the airport. There is a direct bus that is bringing you to the center. It's quite well connected by public transport, I would say. You have the time compared to other European countries. So that's oh no. Uh, if you want to go to the mountains, you can use the train. I would say that would be. Then there are also some websites where you can share a ride. So you would be paying something, but you would be sharing the cost for the gas. Just that. It's BlaBlaCar and car sharing, something like that. BlaBlaCar. Yeah, that's the name. Probably because stay in the car and blah 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 chat. I don't know. Okay, so what else do you want to ask me? Mm, it's a city close to the mountains, and it's very beautiful, small, and it's I like beautiful. Then I would maybe go to the seaside. Yeah, I would go to the seaside as well, even if it's quite crowded. And maybe the Danube Delta, which is not that crowded. It's not very easy to get there, and there are many mosquitoes, but it's a beautiful place in the nature where the sea and the Danube meet. And many animals, not animals necessarily, but mostly birds. It's very beautiful. Um, yeah, I think this would be the places if I would come here like for a quick visit. This not very quick, but this would be the places that I would. What would be the Romanian food? Because my way of eating is not very typical for Romania. Let's say like traditional. Um, ah, um, a lot of yogurt, cereals, fish, nuts, fruits. Fruits and vegetables are very good in Romania, I would say. You can still find some more natural stuff. Yeah, there are people eating rice. I don't eat rice, but it's just it's a thing I have with rice. Yes, I have bread. I used to be vegetarian. Now I'm not anymore. I used to be for 6 years. Now I eat meat sometimes. I have to cook for my daughter. No, I have to cook for my daughter, so I cook. Oh, there are, yeah, no, but I cook for her. I prefer her to have a more natural diet, as natural as possible. Hmm, that's an interesting question. Um, well, in general, while traveling, I I learned a lot about kindness and hospitality. But that's something in general about traveling. Um, Something more specific when meeting a culture. There were many things that were like, for example, in Asia, it was in some countries, in Malaysia, for example, or Indonesia, it was sometimes quite difficult to be as a woman, and that was something that I needed to learn. And yeah, sometimes I would cover myself more than I would usually do. So I was adapting. I learned that sometimes it's good to respect the other culture and blend in. Um, I was learning all sort of recipes, like the African tea and some some food recipes as well. Um, and then I learned all sort of things from individuals. Um, I started playing badminton. It seems like in Malaysia it's a very popular sport, and I enjoyed it. I learned to bike. I wasn't biking before. I learned to bike when I was um, in Cambodia, I think. Um, I There is all these small experiences that count. It's difficult to tell them in an interview, though. It's something you are left with, and then it's somehow it became so much part of me that maybe exactly when or where did I learn it. Uh, I think there are quite a few. I hosted an Indian guy, but he was living in London. So he was originally from India, but he had already moved to London. Otherwise, no, not many in Romania. I would say no. No, I had a yoga, maybe 2 or 3 yoga teachers that are from India. Yes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. They were teaching yoga. So of course, personally I haven't been to India. I wanted to many times. Somehow I never got on my list. Um, I have friends that have been to